Hi there, guitar pedal aficionados. What's up? It's Pete Thorn. You know where you are. You're in my studio, and hey, we're going to check out this pedal. It's the Friedman Buxom Boost. Really cool boost pedal. Used it on all the guitar parts and the bass part on that track at the beginning of the video, and we're going to talk about it now. Incidentally, I had a lot of fun recording that track. I think I might record it for my record. I was playing my new Mac Mall Custom T guitar. I finally got something with P90s, because everybody's always like, why don't you have P90s? So there was a P90 guitar, and oh my god, it sounds good. I love it. Anyway, all right, so the pedal. Super cool boost pedal. You can do straight clean boost with this pedal if you want to, but it does so much more because it's got an EQ, fairly sophisticated EQ built in. It's got a two-way switch here where you can defeat the EQ. So let's talk about that for a second. Put it in the bypass position. Now the only things that are active are the boost control and the tight control. So boost control does exactly what you think it would do. It adds clean gain. There's lots of it on tap there. So if you just want to boost like you would with a traditional kind of microamp style pedal or something like that, you can do that with this pedal. It's going to buffer your signal, bring back lost high end from any long cable runs and things like that. Super cool. The tight control. Okay, so this allows you to do some really interesting things. It shaves off bass. As you roll it up, it takes away more and more bass frequencies. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, the really cool thing, and I'm going to show you this in just a second here in a illuminating sound example. The really cool thing is if you've got an amp that's kind of blowing up and sort of, farty or, flatulent in the low end, let's say, like say an old Fender, like my Bassman, for instance. If I turn up my Bassman anywhere past 6 or 7. It sounds really cool, but you need to kind of run the bass control low, and then the amp kind of sounds thinner, but that's the only way to get it from being really blowing up in the low end. And it kind of works best with single coils. Humbuckers are a bit too much for it, that sort of thing. With this pedal, I'm going to show you. It's really cool. You can tighten the low end right up and yet kick the crap out of the front end using the boost control, and you can almost turn basically like sort of a 60s slightly big in the bottom end Fender kind of sound into much more of a Marshall-esque affair. Okay, so let's move on to the EQ. Switch the bypass switch in, so the EQ is now in. You have a passive mid boost, bass boost, and an active treble control. So what that means is when the mids are all the way down and the bass control is all the way down, they're not affecting anything. Turn them up and you can add mids or bass by bringing those up. But the treble control has a center detent and you can cut or boost treble frequencies. Okay, so you can really fine-tune the tone that way. Okay, so what I want to do now is solo some of the parts from the track at the beginning of the video outside of the mix so I can show you how I used the pedal. I used it with a couple different amps. I was playing my 72 Marshall 50 watt back there for the rhythm guitar parts. For the bass part, I was running into a model Line 6 Helix, and I was using a SVT model, and I used this to kind of preamp the bass, add a little bit of gain and fine-tune the tone, and show you what that sounds like. And then for the solo in the track at the beginning of the video, I was doing the thing where I was kicking the crap out of the front end of the Fender amp and using the pedal to tighten up the low end, add some mids, and add a ton of gain so I could get it into high enough gain for solo. All right, so let's move on to the sound examples. This is the Buxom Boost from Friedman. Here's a really cool use for this pedal, and incidentally, this is the way that I use the pedal during the guitar solo in the song at the beginning of the video. So I wanted to see how tight I could make a loose sound with this pedal, because it's got the tight control on it, and of course you can boost with it and add some mids and stuff. So here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to take a fairly flubby amplifier sound and see if I could tighten it up and turn maybe like a Fender style driving sound into a much higher gain Marshall style drive sound, because I thought that could be useful, right? What if you've got a flubby amp at a gig or something and you want to try and tighten it up? So all right, so I'm using my Bassman here, and I've got it cranked up to 7. I'm just on the normal channel. Bright switch is off, treble's on about 6.5, bass is on 5, and here's the tone. Okay, doing that Fender thing, they get a little bloated in the low end. Here's the way the neck pickup sounds. know, they're blowing up a little bit in the low end. That's what Fenders do when you turn them up loud, at least 60s ones. So, yeah. Let's see what I can do here with this pedal, with the setting that I've got going. So I've got the tight control up fairly high, around 1 o'clock. I'm boosting mids, boosting just a hair of bass, boosting some top end, and I got the gain, you know, pretty healthy, also 132 o'clock. Here's the sound. Sorry, I got carried away. But yeah, basically, I was pretty successfully able to turn my old Bassman into what kind of sounds a lot like a Plexi or something like that. So really, really cool use for this pedal is tightening up a flubby amp and, you know, maybe making an American cleaner drive sound much more like a say a mid-gain British style drive tone. So I used the pedal on bass too. Basically, I just added, no pun intended, I just added a little bit of, let me see, well, actually a fair amount of mid-range. I got the mids up around 11 o'clock. And let me see, I've got the bass just, you know, it's up on about, well, just below 9 o'clock. So just adding a little bit of bass with it, really got the treble up a little bit. And the tight controls all the way down, because I wanted to leave all the low end intact. What else? And the actual boost controls up around 10:30. Now I've got the EQ switched in. Here's the tone without the pedal first. Switching it in. So you can hear how it's just adding some clarity. It's adding like a layer of sheen, a little bit of clarity, just making the bass cut a little bit more. I pulled up a spectrum analyzer to kind of look at the EQ and stuff and what's happening, and really it's like the you know, the mids, when you boost the mids, it's very broad, I found. So you get a nice full kind of like fullness through the mid-range, and that can just tend to make a bass speak through a track really nicely. There it is, the Friedman Buxom Boost. Thanks for watching my video on it. Super cool boost pedal with a nice versatile EQ and the tight control that really allows you to do some interesting things boosting amps with this pedal. You can check it out further at the website you see there on your screen. And hey, please hit subscribe if you haven't. Come back and see me for more videos real soon. I am Pete Thorn. Take care.